Welcome to picturesque Switzerland and the Epinay airfield near Gruyères in the canton of Fribourg. The launch site sits amidst one of the most scenic regions of the country, just the right backdrop of the 61st Coupe Aéronautique Gordon Bennett. The Gordon Bennett gas balloon race, or as the French call it, the Coupe Aéronautique Gordon Bennett, is the longest running race the FAI organises. The race was born in 1906, which is a huge and exciting story in itself. And the other thing is, it's all about gas balloons. There's only 50 of them left throughout the world. This means that this is a really exclusive and very prestigious race. That's why it's really something special for us. There are 21 teams from all over the world. The world of ballooning is smaller than the real world, but there are pilots from 13 nations anyhow. They start with the goal to cover the maximum distance, and the maximum means that they'll have to stand in the basket for a very long time, maybe for 3 or 4 days. The world record time is more than 90 hours in this small basket. This is a huge mental and physical challenge. You're not only outdoors day and night, you also need to keep in touch with air traffic control. You have to radio, to navigate, to eat, to sleep. It's a very complex expedition setup up there. While they are preparing the race, we talk to some of the participants about their favourite passion, gas ballooning. Team Swiss 1 with Kirk Frieden and Pascal Witzpach-Tigger are the reigning champions. They've won the 2 previous Gordon Bennett races. Gas ballooning is really beautiful. You have a lot of time to watch nature and you travel for days. That's fascinating. And that's what I've been doing for 25 years. Gas ballooning has given me the most beautiful moments of my life. We both have different strengths. Kurt brings a lot of experience. With his huge know-how, he contributes to all the decisions where you need a lot of experience. You have to consider a lot of aspects, but we are not alone when we are in the basket. I mean, we are alone in the basket, but not alone in the race. We have a team backing us. Take meteorology, for example. If you are in the basket, you can see how the weather currently is. But as we're not always online, we can't always check the forecast to see how the weather will be in a few hours. This is why we have a meteorologist on the ground. He checks the weather models, he knows where the best winds are, he has a lot of experience and knows how it all works. With his help, we decide which route to take, which altitude is perfect, and what we do in general. Locals Nicolas Thiege and Laurent Skibel of Team Switzerland 2 are shooting for the moon this year. They were 3rd in 2015 and 2nd in 2016. Now they want to win the race. Why did they start gas ballooning?
I've started with the hot air balloon as everyone more or less, and then I love really the long distance fly with hot air balloon. Then naturally you switch to gas balloon. My first flight in gas balloon was in 1998, 99, something like that.
So it was a natural transition. We had a lot of adventure with Nicolas in hot air ballooning, and gas ballooning is a step further. Especially this year because we are home here in Gruyères, Switzerland. We try a lot of night flying and on night landing because Gordon Bennett race this is a long race, many days, many nights, and to be at the end on the top 5, we need to have a good experience for night.
Gas ballooning is very complex. Experienced pilot Sherry White of Team USA 2 is racing together with FAI Vice President Mark Sullivan. She tells us more about the sport.
Well, I started hot air ballooning when I was 13. My father was a balloon pilot, and I flew many years with hot air. And then in 2002, Mark Sullivan asked if I would be his co-pilot for gas balloons. So I started flying gas balloons with Mark, and 2007 was my first Gordon Bennett. The skills come over time, as you said, in meteorology and weather. As a balloonist, I've been studying it since I was very young. But we have pilot Thomas Hora, who does our meteorology work while we fly in the race, so we don't have to worry so much. He is watching us while we fly and does all of the weather while we're flying. But of course, you learn to know weather as you fly in it. As far as ATC was very difficult coming to Europe the first time, but it's gotten a lot easier. The organization makes it very easy for us to contact the controllers of the various airspaces.
Germany is represented by 3 teams. Himke Hilbert and Dominik Hagenet of Team Germany 1 have participated in the Gordon Bennett since 2014 and improved every year. Where does their fascination for the sport come from? I was a member of the hot air ballooning team of East Frisia, Germany. One of the pilots in my home village took me for a gas balloon meeting once. I immediately loved those gas balloons as soon as I saw them. I told him I wanted to learn this, and this is fantastic. During our education, we learned how to deal with the weather. There's meteorology, there's a model for navigation and a model for airspace. We learn a lot during our education, and we learn a lot more when we are gas ballooning. Anolfo Gonzalez and Angela Gurri of Team Spain 1 are 2 very ambitious pilots. In 2014, they got 4th, and in the previous year, they were 3rd.
Yeah, actually, I've been a hot air balloon pilot for many years, already 30 years now, and I made my first gas balloon flight in the year 2000, and from that time, I promised to myself that I was going to get my license. But being in a Gordon Bennett is a dream flight for any pilot. You compare with a hot air balloon competition where you have only one pilot. Here you have 2 pilots and you're sharing every decision, which makes all the decision making completely different. But also you have a very important person, which is I will say the 3rd most important person in the team, which is your meteorologist. He can be either following you or in a different base.
France 1 with Christophe Huvert and Vincent Leys is a very special team. They are the only pilots to start in a balloon they built themselves. It's very different from all the other balloons, which also shows in the painstaking preparations during the setup of the balloon.
I was involved in long-distance flights quite early because I flew the Atlantic in 2000. So with another French pilot called Laurent Lajoie, we flew the Atlantic in September 2000. Vincent has built this balloon, so he knows it perfectly. He probably fly it like anybody. Flying this balloon is really natural. It's not like an aircraft or even a hot air balloon. It's really smooth fly, so there is no big action in piloting. It's a really always smooth action. Because when you always try to climb, descend, etc., you use some sand, and your endurance becomes shorter. So it's really smooth fly. I think that a lot of people can win this race in such a conditions.
After the final safety checks, the pilots get clearance to launch. Himke Hilbert and Dominik Hagenet gracefully lift off to the strains of their national anthem. 5,000 cheering spectators watch this impressive show as they begin their multi-day journey into the unknown. For locals Nicolas Thiege and Laurent Skibol of Team Switzerland 2, it's a very special moment to launch and see the large crowd that has come along to experience the start. The Spanish team is next. A new adventure begins. The sun is about to set when Team France 1 with Christophe Huvert and Vincent Leys flies into the evening sky. Team Switzerland 1 with Kurt Frieden and Pascal Vrichbecks-Tigger is perfectly prepared. The two Swiss pilots launch Gruyères as night is falling. The first highlight after the launch, Zurich at night, an impressive sea of lights. After the first night, the pilots head to the northeast, direction of Czech Republic and Poland. They need to pass through the eye of a needle, however, as near Kaliningrad the airspace is very tight. Christophe Hoover and Vincent Leys of Team France 1 are the only pilots who decided to fly high at nearly 6,000 meters. Their strategy is rewarded by a wonderful view and success.
More emotional moment was when we crossed the border in Lithuania, because this is something we tried to reach during more than a day. We tried an option, we put all in. You say, we don't see, we have a middle option. You say, well, if there is one way to do, it's that one.
After 1,836.06 kilometers, Christophe Hoover and Vincent Leys land safely at Varu, Estonia. The other teams didn't make it through the narrow airspace corridor between Kaliningrad and Belarus. Team Switzerland 1 and Spans 1 fight for second place.
This is our 6th edition in Gordon Bennett, and we ended this time in the 3rd position, so we are very happy of that, according to our lack of experience still.
We feel great, we're second, we're happy. For sure we would have loved to have won, but it was not possible this time. The French team just had better performance. It's alright, we're pleased.
Okay, so my Freude ist riesig.
This is the first main step we did, and the last one was the landing for sure. We spent a lot of time, a lot of energy to prepare the race, but it's always a great feeling.
And here are the final results. That's it from the 61st FEI Coupe Aéronautique Gordon Bennett. The next edition will start from Bern, Switzerland next year. See you then.